Alright, hello everybody. DV Digital Hero here. Coming to you to kind of give you a couple of updates. It's been a little bit since I've done an update video, and it's been a bit since I've done anything. I've kind of been in another little slump of, like, I don't know what to do, and stuff like that. And I've had some ideas of what I want to do, and sorry if I sound weird, I might have a cold, but might also be part of why I haven't done anything. But I've also been kind of just like, I've been deeply looking into some stuff for some stories, some potential stories and games I can make, and try to rearrange them so that they make sense and I can use as much of like the D&D stuff as I can. I got like two major stories kind of figuring out in my head. One's based around Strixhaven and a few other books that are around Strixhaven. Probably strangely enough, probably Power Ranger stuff because I have a whole bunch of Power Ranger stuff, and most of their stuff deals with Angel Grove and like their school. So if I could ever get my brother to help me play through some of that, that'd be great. The other story I want to do is based off of the lab game I had a demo of, except instead of my main character DV, instead of that I'm gonna have it be Donald, and it's gonna be going through this thing and having like the first area, like some of the first areas be replaced by labs to basically have like the whole lab thing I showed off in the demo, or that's playable in that demo, um, be fully available. Let me just move this a little bit more so that way. Hello? Okay. Hopefully I didn't actually stutter. But I want to lean a little forward. Anyway, so I'm going to try to work on that. And again, like the biggest things I have problems with is I can like try to role play with my friends, but like none of my friends want to role play actual things that could be in a game. Like we'll do role plays on Discord and stuff, but usually it leads to um, NSFW stuff. Let's just put it that way. I don't mind it, and technically it leads me to almost being able to write books like that and stuff like that, which I had on Ichio for a bit. I took them down. There's also an update to that. I took down those like the adult books, let's say, um, and we're gonna probably keep them down and just like if people are curious and that like I'll this actually makes sure that I can, I don't know. I might just either have them in the background or put them on like a free service somewhere. I don't know yet. Almost like a fanfic.net or something like that. I don't know what I'll do with them yet, but I might do something. I'll just keep them in my own back pocket, um, to have as ideas for other stuff. I was gonna post another one, but I don't think that one's canon anymore. So, kind of the problem. Anyway, going completely off topic there, but actually still slightly on topic because the other problem I've been having is I've been wondering if I should actually have like adult content in the games. At the moment, I'm going to say no. Reason being is I want people to play the games. That's it. I kind of want people to play the games. I want people to actually take me as like a respectable developer and whatnot. That's whatever. Not that I have anything against not like adult content, but um, if I put that stuff in my games, nobody's going to be able to stream it on YouTube or anything. I can't really show it off to people to promote it because nobody would be able to play it unless I found a way to like. There'd have to be like a way to like inch around certain things or something like that. I have to do something, and maybe I still go with there's like the normal version of the adult, but I don't know if like people like the theorist or anything like that would do anything with like game theory would do anything with it if I had like a whole bunch of lore in my stuff, which I want to. But yeah, again, this is all big dreams or whatnot if I could actually get the stuff done. But here's the long and short of it and what I'm actually trying to figure out. Again, I'm trying to figure out what to do for YouTube content and stuff like that. I've done this several times on this channel already. You can go back to when I was with my ex, mostly when I was with my ex, and technically before that because I tried to do legendary. I started off trying to do legendary gamer, DV. That was a big thing, and then I tried doing the like ZC, like the DV Fighting Force, playing through Left 4 Dead and Dead Rising, and also uh, Jagger stories or whatever we called that. Uh, with like Turtles for the PS2, like the one based around the 2002 cartoon, and followed up with Portal and Portal 2. Technically, it started with Portal, then went to Turtles, then went to Portal 2, and Turtles going on at the same time. That whole set. See, I could, but the problem is I can't use any of that stuff for any kind of games anymore. Like the videos are still there. I'm not going to get rid of them because, for one, that's another game I beat technically online. Is those 3 games I beat them. They were fully completed successfully, so there's no reason to go back and like do them again, for the most part. Problem is with that, we had like a whole bunch of other footage of games like Sly Cooper 1, 2, and 3 that were basically done. Ratchet and Clank 1 that was partway done. Donkey Kong 64 and Donkey Kong Countries 1, 2, and 3 that were mostly done. We lost that footage a long time ago, which is why it never got uploaded. Also, to jump from, I think, the end of Portal 2 to the start of Rayman Origins, we were needing some kind of little plot jump. And, like, the plot jump we had needed some explanation, and we didn't know how to explain it. We didn't know what route to go about to explain it. I thought maybe something like a thing, but we never got to that part. And then by the time I was going to, like at one point we was like, this is not canon anyway. Oh, well, we'll just delete it because it's like 60 gigs on their computer or something like that, or like 100 gigs. It was taking up a lot of space on computers that did not have that much space. Like we were having trouble storing that information anywhere, so we just deleted it. So it wasn't lost. It just we got rid of it because, yeah, the what was actually lost is the stuff where it's like the end of the breakdown, Hybrid Heaven, and the Half-Life playthrough. Which Half-Life wasn't even finished yet, but it was like at the end. It was in the alien section, as well as like 2 or 3 other playthroughs, including like I think Kirby's Canvas Curse and Metroid 1 and Zero Mission. Like Zero Mission and then followed up with Metroid 1 and the rest of Fusion. All that got lost. Anyway, the point is the stuff where it was like all that Crash Bandicoot, or not Crash Bandicoot was not, Sly Cooper and Donkey Kong 64 and stuff of that nature. All those playthroughs that we had were all roleplay stories. We kept in story the entire time playing that, and it was super fun. I love that. I personally like doing the acting and all that crazy stuff. There's only like 4 or 5 problems with trying to do something like that. Is one, disbelief, because with certain ones, how are you going to believe that, let's say, Sly Cooper is actually somebody else? It's Sly Cooper. It's known Sly Cooper, you know. We can't really change it unless I find somebody that can really super help and change the models of everybody in the game. But I can't do that with every game. I can do that with some games. Some games that would probably be able to be done, I would need a lot of money to try to do like custom mods and stuff like that. But more or less, yeah, just that disbelief. Now, technically, I've tried doing this again, where I tried doing the digital world story and the like the crash site story. I tried doing those 2 stories as role plays. Um, but one, I think we're gonna change up the crash site story a little bit, and two, the same with the digital world story. So yeah, probably just change that up a lot. But that kind of leads me into some weird situations here. Is that I like doing that kind of stuff. I love doing that kind of content. I find it fun, silly, crazy. Also, I could add, I was trying to add Munchkins to it because I have all these Munchkin cards. I don't know what to do with them, so I was trying to add some stuff in there for stuff to kind of give us an edge or give us something that we could use, because otherwise it was like making no sense. You know, it's like all these characters could get this stuff, but like we weren't really getting anything new. Like you can't, like, okay, let's say Kingdom Hearts, you get new keyblades, new bracelets, and stuff like that. That's fine. But in Sly Cooper, you never get any new weapons. Although technically some of your modifications could be considered new weapons, and maybe that's all we can say that they are. Um, is that some of the bombs and stuff like that you pick up or whatever, or the electric stick, or some of the weird moves you get are different things, but like at the same time, yeah, Jack and Dexter, especially the first one, you don't get any new weapons. Uh, Donkey Kong Countries, you don't get nothing. You're just literally just yourself the entire time. Donkey Kong 64, you kind of get some weapons because you get the guns and stuff like that in those games. But again, I want to try and do something where I'm trying to make a game and stuff like that. I'm hoping that freezing I see is not actually coming out in the recording. I'm going to double check. I have to remember to double check the 12-minute mark just to make sure this freezing ain't something that's being recorded. Like, that way it's like, if it's my phone stuttering for stuttering reasons, but it still records properly, that's fine. That's all I'm saying. You'll find out because it'll be there. Because I will check, but I probably won't do anything about it. But I will see what's wrong with my phone because my phone shouldn't be having any problems. Anyway, so I would like to do something like that. Also, but I also don't know if there'd be an audience for it. I tried it a couple times. There didn't seem to really be much of an audience for it. And again, that's the same thing with like my archipelagos and much of an audience for it, and neither did like any of the stream VODs. Like the stream VODs didn't have any audience. I get it; it's several hours long, but still, like no interest in it at all for VOD re-uploads. That makes me want to stop doing the archipelagos unless I make my own archipelago. But at the same time, those get me views over the thing. But I could just like not upload them. But at the same time, uploading them gives me stuff. So I mean, I could maybe start doing multiple projects at the same time and just be uploading all the damn time. But again, I have to have an audience for that. That's the problem. I don't. And that's kind of the key issue is that everybody that watches some of these update videos that I make, I just pop on a camera and be like, hey, hi, how you doing? You know, that gets views, but then the other stuff does. I could maybe try to do tabletop role playing, but nobody wants to play with me or nobody's ever available to play with me. I mean, I think technically my brother and Lynn want to play, but they're never around because they're working all the time. They're always busy or tired. And in Lynn's case, she's saving money, so sometimes we don't even see each other for a week and a half. So, and it's only for like a day or a day and a half at best. And then half the time it's like Just we're mostly just either watching YouTube or maybe playing a game or something just off camera. Anyway, um, so there's that, and I also have to apologize to anybody here that has any knowledge of Newfie Gamers. It's like actually watching Newfie Gamer stuff. I apologize. I did not upload all last week. I don't remember if I uploaded the week before. I am sorry. One, again, views not like the lack of views is not helping my mindset with that. I know I shouldn't really care too much. It's supposed to be a hobby, but at the same time, like what, like it's like a whole, it's like actually a good amount of effort. Like especially for newfie gamers, I sit there and edit because there's a lot of stuff I need to take out because this basement's not quiet at all, and people interrupt on a constant basis, and usually don't go away right away, and they don't, yeah. Like we sometimes have to sit there and record while my mom or my son, no, mostly my mom's in the basement doing laundry. We sometimes have to record during that part. It's annoying. Again, I know I should be doing this as a hobby, but I've also been doing this for like 18 years, so I was hoping for something out of it because, again, this has been a huge chunk of my life, regardless of us doing all the research for the video game stories and planning for the video game story stuff, all the stuff for like even just getting the courage to sit down and like try to stream in front of an audience of no one and stuff like that. That stuff that, and also Newfie Gamers, like I said, we have to edit stuff, and then we're trying to add funnies, and nobody watches it, so nobody sees the funnies. What's the point? It kind of annoys me and slightly pisses me. Like, it shouldn't piss me off, but it kind of pisses me off a little bit. It's just like, wow. But again, that's why I'm trying to figure out what to do. Right now, if depending on the answer to what people might think for this, the answer might just be maybe nothing. Right now, that's currently the answer I'm going for. But at the same time, I like creating content. I have fun doing it. But then I get hugely discouraged when I see nothing. I could start doing reviews, but if I did that, I'd want to do it on a fresh new channel, honestly. Maybe Newfie Gamers could do it. That'd be like one channel where like sometimes it could be Let's Play, sometimes it could be reviews or something. Or we do like a whole new channel that is just like silly cut down videos of the entire playthroughs of that. Or maybe we just start doing that for everything else. Like once we get done with these three, we just start recording in a bunch and just cut it down. But again, that would also cost money. And if nobody's watching it, I'm not wanting to put a whole bunch of money into stuff that people may or may not watch. Because we're getting nothing back at all. There's no return to the investment. Kind of like right now with my game, like actually making games too. And it's like, I got a game for sale. Did you all know that? There's the mining game that's for sale at Itch.io. It's not much. Honestly, it's kind of a side story. It's not even a main story. It was just a little game I finished making because it was like a little project I did before me and my ex role played any of these stories. And like before we got to that, like it was just a random little side story that I just randomly made up off the top of my head about 4 random miners in a mine mining, and then they get trapped. and then they have to escape. And like that's the whole premise of the game. It's very short. It's a couple hours long. It's just basic RPG Maker stuff, but I have a card system that's in it, and like we choose 4 different attacks, and those different attacks are affected by different stats. I tried to make sure it was balanced. It's probably not. It's not very balanced at all, but I tried, and it plays all right. It's fun for what it is. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do anything with those characters. If people like it, then maybe. But yeah, that's just the first one. If people want me to use the card system again, but every time I asked, like anybody gives me feedback, they're like, I don't know how the game works, even though I try to explain it on multiple occasions. They'll be confused and not understand the card system. Because there's no indication how much damage anything does. It's like, okay, you could experiment with it, but all right. I mean, it's easy for me because I actually know the numbers behind everything, but so I get it. But yeah. Tangent aside, um, yeah. I also have an idea for a game that would use a different book entirely. The Rise of the Rune Lords. It's over there. I'm not going to get it right now. There are like a whole bunch of like smaller quests campaigns, but that one's just going to be a fun little dungeon crawler set in the past of Nufia before anything actually happens. It's just going to be a straight up dungeon crawler. Probably, I may or may not use the same system for that game as I do for the one over here, where it's like you equip 1 melee weapon, 1 range weapon, 1 magic item. That's like a crystal or something that casts spells, and 1 toolkit that lets you do job related stuff like medic stuff, singing, music, uh, thievery, whatever, like stuff you'd get like out of like job skills in other games. Maybe even stuff like intimidate. Who knows? Um, but there's freezing again. Gosh, it's freezing for a long time. And I hate it. Um, so the plan of action though is that I kind of want to do that, but I still, again, like me and Lynn got to the part where we were role playing on this one bit, and we kind of did a small little action scene, but then I technically had to skip the actual gameplay section because what else am I going to do? And they're not going to, like, it would be like something where I would need somebody to DM for me so I could go on an adventure and like beat people up and actually like do stuff and have things happen to my characters because they're all my characters. But I'm the one with all the books, so I kind of have to be the DM, which is unfortunate. I don't like it. So I try to do that through Discord and nobody cares. We will have a couple small moments here and there, but then like nobody wants to like play through a full fight scene, so like or do equipment or do anything like that. Like here's a funny one. Lynn like did a thing where she was like, "I'll just my family's rich, so I'll just buy you the best phone." If I had phones as an equipment piece for DV, that one's actually just going to be a completely different system entirely, where it's going to actually have straight attack, defense, magic attack, and magic defense, and just your almost like your standard equipment stuff for the school RPG. It was like I'll just buy you the most expensive. I think we settled on Clophone. I think we settled on Clophone. to be the iPhone replacement. Like Nufian phone or something, Nufa phone or something with the. I'd have to check my phone to find out the actual names. And when we actually do things, we'll keep those names in mind, but I'd have to actually do that. And like if I had a system where DV was using his phone as like his weapon because he could draw like weapons out of his phone, then that'd be like the equivalent of like getting one of the best equipment pieces right out the gate. Or at least a really good powerful middle one, skipping like a bunch of lower tier stuff at the beginning of the game. I wouldn't know how to translate that into a game. Basically. So, yeah. It's kind of why I want to do the video game RPs again. I would do either the story with Donald the Fox by going through games like the Jack and Dexter franchise, the Sly Cooper franchise, the let's see, what else? The Sly Cooper franchise, the Donkey Kong 64, etc., etc. Go through games like that, kind of going through the missions that we kind of went through before. That is basically now lost media. It was never uploaded in the first place. Kind of deal. Do that and have it be a thing. Or, I don't know. Either that or just wing it. I could wing it. I don't want to wing it, though. It's kind of the thing. And it's kind of been one of my biggest stopping points forever. Is that anything else I can come up with to try to wing it or use other information to do something else? Like, I'm going to let y'all in on something. The idea for the story with Donald the Fox, one of my characters, is 99% based off of, like, the stuff I have so far is all based around a game called Lustal. It's a HEO game. If you're an adult, you can go find it. Play the plus version. This is really good. It's a really solid game, but the problem with it is that, well, you can probably tell why. It's like there's some issues. But like that's the only thing I've had to come up with any kind of story for that. Because again, I like let's kind of make it like this. I personally I have a decent imagination, but my imagination kind of comes to a peak when I combine things together. That's when my imagination kind of reaches its best. Its best. So, like all my imagination comes from stuff I'm doing or have done. Games games like Elder Scroll, like any of the Elder Scrolls games, like Oblivion, all that stuff, or Fallout, or Hogwarts Legacy, kinda, and other games like the one I mentioned before. I'm not going to say it too many times, just in case I get in any kind of trouble for that. Games like that have decent roleplay value, or like to where I can actually kind of run my own path, run my own story, etc. Legend of Mana is a good choice for that because you kind of can do missions in any order you want, even from the beginning. Like, there's like a set number of missions you can do, but you can do whatever missions you want. Oblivion's also good for this kind of thing. You know, Skyrim, the Fallouts from actually, yeah, all the Fallouts, honestly. Even like 1 and 2, and probably even Brotherhood of Steel and 76 or MMOs. MMOs would be good for this, but we kind of keep running into this problem where, like, one, there might be too many games. Like, there's not enough and too many of those kind of games. Also, they're ungodly long. They take way too long, multiple weeks to get through one of those games. Whatever, maybe even years. And what am I going to do for that? Like, what am I going to do with that? Like, do I go for 100% run? Does the team do that? Do I just use that? Do I try to use other games like I brought up, the Sly Cooper series, Kingdom Hearts, stuff like that, where, like, at least in like Oblivion or whatever, you can customize your characters. They can look however you want. Um, to some degree, I would have to, like, with Skyrim and Oblivion, I would have to use the Argonians, I think it is, the lizard people, and be like, that's Devi, even though Devi is humanoid but has dragon horns and a tail. And it's not necessarily, the Argonians aren't necessarily dragons, they're just lizard people. But still, that is an option. But, like, and it's kind of like, again, that's kind of what we're doing, but again, it's not exactly right. Lynn's character would be missing ears and tails because I think you basically can't do any kind of race that's like has ears and tails only, like no half breeds. Um, that's kind of like the whole premise of the story, honestly. But yeah, do we do that? Do we just use other random games? Zinla Zone Zero kind of could fit for one story, but like because like the whole like using your consciousness to go into the thing, that's kind of what Devi's diving ability is like. Um, there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. It's very confusing, and I honestly don't know how to do it. That's why I'm going to bring up the option to you all. It's not going to be a poll or anything. Just comment if you want to, please. Um, if I should actually do more uh, more like story based content, try to make up stories for games. If I should do more research, because I was like, there's the story idea where I use select games and maybe just have like knowledge that, oh yeah, these games also exist and are probably happening during this time, just to kind of give like a little bit of a buff to it. But like I could do more research, which is like half of what I was streaming for in the first place, where I just play through a game and try to explain how I plan to use it. Um, there's there's other stuff very similar to that kind of logic that can be used here, and it's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing, and I don't know how to do it. Maybe somebody can give me another idea. Maybe something can give me an idea that I've not thought of. Because my ideas are very limited in scope. Like, I could plan out, like, the entire main route, but if things happen, we could diverge and go on, like, little side games to, like, collect money because somebody got hurt too many times. And I don't want to just be like, oh, yeah, they got hurt a bunch. So, but because the game has infinite continues, it doesn't matter much. Or because we're using save states, it doesn't matter much. We'll try not to use save states, which also means, honestly, we'll probably be sticking to games that don't have limited continues. Also, for the sake of that kind of argument, if I do that, how should death work? Should we just do it to where, like, every time we die, we basically reset the process and, like, it's like we basically reset the video and try to not die and do a deathless run. We, like, never fall, never die, and we have to do this in order to do that. And, like, we just have, like, a save or something at the start of a mission or something. If, like, there's checkpoints and stuff they're supposed to use. So this is going to make the games harder for us because we have to do a whole chunk without dying. Or if there is a part where we die, we have to, like, come back. We have to, like, edit it out and, like, come back and, like, do it again. There's also stuff like that. There's all types of stuff. More or less. I don't know. I would like to do the role-playing thing again because at least it's slightly unique and different. It'd be kind of like video game abridged, but instead of abridging it as the characters like Sly and Bentley and all that stuff, we'd be doing it as DV, Jet, Midnight, other characters. If other people wanted to get in on this series, like, I'll probably show this one around too, just to see if I can actually get people to, like, come up with some ideas and stuff. Yeah. Basically just stuff like that. I don't know what I want to do. I know I want to do something, but I don't know what I want to do. And again, if I don't come up with any ideas, maybe I just am done. Maybe I'm just done with YouTube. I don't know. I'm probably not, because I want to record at some point. If anything, I'll stream Archipelagos or something and just use the channel as a VOD channel. Honestly, worst case scenario. At least then, if I do like 50 good days of Archipelagos, I can eventually get a cash thing. Also, if you want to help support me in any way for any of this, because financial support would be helpful. That way I can do stuff. Oh, also, I guess, side note, is because of some of this, and also this is probably, if this actually happens, this is a big if, because our job market in this world of ours is garbage. I'm trying to get a job close by within walking distance, and if that works, hooray, I'll have a job. Otherwise, wasted my time. Either way, yeah. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I'll try to see if I can figure something out. If not, I gotta start making money somehow so I can actually fund the games. Because I'm gonna need stuff like cutscenes. I'm gonna also need to be the ability to drive. You know, at some point, maybe a house to live in that's not here, so things can be easier to work with. You know, so maybe I'll just get a job. I've been trying to avoid it for a few years, for the last 12 years, but if I get one, I get one. And then if that's the case, I am probably going to go 90% radio silent. Maybe if I feel up to playing a game, I might pop on OBS just to try to stream it. Who knows? But that also depends on what time it is and if I get bombarded with people here. Because honestly, at this point, like, the reason I didn't get a job between the time we got kicked out of the apartment because of stuff my ex did, and they kicked out of the apartment because of that, and also getting kicked, and also, and now, why I haven't tried to look for work, because I thought, honestly, we had, like, some money saved up, and I thought we were going to find a place real fast. That never happened. So